So long, man. Have a good rest.
Fuck you! Hey! Help me! Taking maybe one step more. I'll let it off to my little friend.
Like every Monday night, you are checking out Breakfast Super Raw.
Bon appetit, as Don, Tony, and Mish dish out their opinions about the world of pro wrestling, sports, news, and pop culture. Breakfast Super Raw.
And now, your host, Mish and Don Tony.
What is this, like 10 days in a row? Thank you, everybody. Welcome. Oh, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Yeah, I know, you can figure it out already. Mish is not here. We started August without Mish. We close out August without Mish. Actually, you know what? No, wait. Next Monday is the 30th. So we do have another Monday in August. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Breakfast Soup Raw. I am Don Tony. And I want to thank you for tuning in. Now, just to let everyone know right off the bat, since Mish is not here today, since I normally like to debate him and bounce ideas off of him, I'd like to do it for you tonight. We'll be taking calls very early. You want to talk about this? What the hell? Wow, even my computer doesn't want it to stay on. That's better. That's better. Yeah, I have a lot to say about that. Actually, I don't have much to say about it, but definitely something, I basically have to get off my chest. I will say this. I found it pretty funny that so many people out there that could care less about Karrion Kross suddenly give a shit because he wears a mask. If you look at his outfit, it's the same exact outfit that he was in NXT. But since he has the TikTok and the symbol, they made it like an X. He's wearing pretty much the same outfit. Listen, everybody. Viking Raiders. Remember when Viking Raiders debuted on Raw? And everybody's like, the hell is Viking Raiders? That sounds like two NFL football teams. And most of us agreed. Let them call the Viking Raiders whatever they want, as long as they're good on TV. Dewdrop. Piper Naveen. Dewdrop. Today, she's officially gone from Eva. I like Dewdrop. I like Dewdrop. Do you really care if she's called Dewdrop as long as she's getting opportunity and a push on TV? Karrion Kross beat the shit out of Ricochet today. Ricochet, that's been having those crazy matches with Morrison. Ricochet, who feels like he's been elevated a little bit. Karrion Kross took care of him easily. Yes, let's talk about that right away. Now, I'm not going to get into TakeOver yesterday because I did a recap yesterday. In fact, when I go like this, there'll be a little link after the show if you want to go check it out. But as far as Karrion Kross goes, I know what I'm about to say might sound almost like Captain Obvious. I'm dead serious when I say this. Dead serious. I am actually kind of pissed off at myself right now for not realizing this, not thinking about it 2-3 months ago. We talked about it in bits and pieces. The Nick Khan effect. Nick Khan, and this all ties with Karrion Kross and everything else, trust me. Nick Khan, you have heard Mish and I talk for months and months and months what this guy is doing with WWE. We told you from the get-go, they're not doing it to sell WWE. They're doing it to make money. They're doing it because this guy came in and this guy realized, why do we need 5 departments in the WWE headquarters for films and other stuff when we could do it in 2? No, it's true. They let go 50 people. But it's COVID. No, it's a publicly traded billion-dollar company. I know it sounds cold, but that's what Wall Street is all about. Then we start seeing 205 Live. You start seeing changes there. You're starting to see some wrestlers getting double, triple duty. People working dark matches. People working main event. People making an appearance here and there on Raw. People showing up on dark matches for SmackDown. And everybody's like, oh, he's jumping. He's jumping. He's jumping. It was Nick Khan. Why are these people sitting in catering? Why are these people sitting at home? I know the catering line is a nice insult on TV when one wrestler wants to trash the other. But when it comes to real business, why does anybody have to sit in catering for weeks and weeks and weeks? Trust me, what I'm about to say, I think it's going to hit all of us like a ton of bricks, and we're going to be like, stupid! How didn't we just put this together months ago? You see the releases. Some wrestlers who are released that we just don't understand. Malachi Black, Aleister Black, why would you let him go? And you have Braun Strowman, the best shape of his life. And the only reason why people were saying, oh, well, WWE feels that, he's not in, can't work. No, there was no legit excuse except for one thing. Lana, a few others. Then you go to NXT. In NXT, and this is what I'm about to say, because let's be honest, and I'm not saying this bragging, because you talked about it also. A lot of you out there deserve just as much credit. I'm looking at this Nick Khan interview that he did with Ariel Helwani, and trust me, this leads to Karrion Kross. Believe me, it's worth what I'm about to say. When he talked about the talent cut decisions, quote, there's a collective of us. Keep in mind at WWE, there's one boss, and it's Vince McMahon. Bruce Pritchard, who oversees the entire creative process, yes, including NXT. Between Kevin Dunn, who oversees the production, between Stephanie, Paul Levesque, and everyone else involved in the decisions, and ultimately Vince makes the final decision. Like I told you yesterday, when WWE has creative meetings, when they make decisions and it affects NXT, there is a oval table, a legit oval table, and Vince is on the end. And I'm sorry for repeating myself from yesterday, but the way a lot of people online have portrayed it to you for the last 6 weeks, Triple H is not sitting at the table with everybody else. Triple H is wearing a dunce hat in the corner. Can I speak? Somebody asked me earlier today, DT, why do you keep bringing up Twitter? Because that's where all the bullshit happens. That's where all the news breaks now. When you want an AEW rating, you don't sit on WrestlingFigs.com and just reload. No, you go on Twitter, where there's millions and millions of people online right now, and somebody gets the news, boop. They don't just go all, that's the source for everything. Politics, Afghanistan, COVID, everybody goes to Twitter for answer. I do it too. I want to know what the COVID numbers were in New York today. I go on Twitter. I type in NY COVID numbers and boom, it's there. That's why we talk about it. But when you see all these people for the last couple of months trying to paint this picture that NXT is dead, that Triple H has lost all power, and I am so sorry for those who are loyal and tune into every minute of what I say because you know I'm repeating something right now. But isn't it weird that Joey's Body Slams and Brunch.com knows about this with Triple H, that WrestlingBlowjob.com knows everything about Triple H, but the investors don't. They do these corporate meetings, these conference calls. Not one investor that's investing tens of millions of dollars in World Wrestling Entertainment. Hey, you know, there's word going around the campfire that Triple H lost all his power. You know, he's one of the most important people in WWE. When you see this thrown around, it doesn't make sense. Nick Khan basically shut everybody up. Shut everybody up after this interview with Ariel Hawaiian. You know why? Because the only thing that they could stick with is like Mickie James. I like Mickie James. But she says she looks at the interview and she sees the greased back hair and the suit and everything. And she's like, oh, he looks like Big Pussy from The Sopranos. She's like, oh, that's the asshole that cut me. That's pretty much her feeling. And that's raw emotion. And I don't blame her for being upset. But there's a reason why this guy has that much power and no one else does. You don't like it. There's nothing you could do about it. What are you going to do? Vote him out? You think the next election, you think there's an election you could vote Nick Khan out of WWE? You got to understand it. I don't like a lot of the decisions that are being done. Bronson Reed, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, now it's starting to make sense, but at the time, you see some of these talents like, why? It just doesn't comprehend. Then it hits me. As far as the changes to NXT, I don't want to give spoilers out. But if you want to look online, you could see the spoilers of what's going to happen tomorrow in NXT and what's going to happen in the middle of September, 3 weeks from now. You see some of the things hyped up. It doesn't seem like NXT has changed at all. The look will be a little different. They're going back to their roots. They're going back to what brought them to the popularity that they were back then. They talked about WWE being open for business. They want to make NXT a place. You remember what Mish and I said for the last 2 months especially? That WWE needs an OVW, needs a Heartland Wrestling Association, needs a Florida Championship Wrestling. They need a place where young and up-and-coming wrestlers that are not fully primed to be superstars yet can have a place where they can work and play. No pressure. Of course, there's always some pressure, but not the pressure of being on TV, millions of fans online insisting a Wednesday night war, and then when things change, how many people out there that were defending NXT for 2 years? Think about this. How many people that you saw online for 2 years that were saying, when AEW was kicking NXT's ass on Wednesday nights, how many people did you see online saying, there's no war? AEW fans are creating this war. There's no war. There is no war. This is AEW's main product, and this is WWE's third product. How many times you hear that for 2 years? As soon as you hear that NXT is going to be totally gutted and revamped, suddenly Triple H is to blame for the Wednesday Night War. Isn't that weird? For 2 years, they told you there was no war, and then suddenly Triple H is to blame for the Wednesday. What does that even mean? It sounds great. It sounds like an Andrew Yang tweet. Andrew Yang tweets like a master. Take note, he hasn't done shit. He could throw stuff out there. He wants everybody else. Hey, I think we could cure cancer. But he's not in the lab trying to do it. Oh, wrestlers need a union. Hey, Andrew, could you hook me up with a couple of lawyers? I said, yeah, I'll get back to you. I'm waiting for Biden to put me in office. You're being fed bullshit all this time. So now Nick Khan comes out there and says they want NXT to be a place where the wrestlers can go. Like people who want to get into professional football or professional baseball, you start in the minor leagues. You start on the bottom and you work your way up. And that's what he wants that to be. Everything that we've been saying all this time is true. But it hit me today. I don't know what Adam Cole's future is. Every single person online that's telling you that Adam Cole is AEW bound, Adam Cole is Raw bound, Adam Cole is SmackDown bound. Adam Cole is going to get a job at a gas station. Adam Cole is returning. No one knows. They think they know, and they throw it out there, get all this attention, all these hits, and then, Adam Cole is reevaluating. WWE is thinking, no, they never knew from the beginning. Look at the Bray Wyatt stuff. 3 weeks ago, everybody and their mother was talking about Bray Wyatt going to AEW. Bray Wyatt going to AEW. The Braun Strowman tweet, when are we getting together, brother? Oh, they're going to reform there. No, that's what we fantasized and wanted, but that was never news. Now suddenly this weekend, Brian Alvarez and Meltzer and others are talking about, well, Bray Wyatt may not sign with AEW. Who the fuck reported that Bray Wyatt was going to sign with AEW in the first place? You see where I'm going with this? So anyway, it hit me today. I don't know where Adam Cole is going to end up. But if you just, and this is why the Nick Khan effect was so important for the last couple of months of us talking about it, because what I'm about to say, if you've been following everything that we've talked about with Nick Khan, consolidating WWE headquarters in Connecticut, consolidating the NXT roster, consolidating 205 Live, taking wrestlers like Austin Theory and others who need work, not sitting in Johnny Gargano's house every week for an episode of NXT in front of a psychiatrist being kidnapped for Dexter Lumis. No, this guy needs to work. And he's not on TV all that much in the ring on NXT. So they put him in a Raw dark match. He loses to Keith Lee. Oh, they put him on a SmackDown dark match. He loses to this person. They put him on the dark matches. He wrestles here. They're trying to give him work. Dakota Kai wrestled 3 dark matches. They're trying to give her work. That's what they're doing. Rather than these people just sitting. What's the theory? Look at how young he is and how great he looks. And the guy is obviously destined to be a star. It ain't going to work if he's just sitting. Yeah, let me show you the way. No, he's got to wrestle. So what's happening now with NXT, and if you've been following everything we've said about Nick Khan, this is what's happening. You think Karrion Kross signed with WWE for $50,000 a year? Do you think Keith Lee signed with NXT for $60,000 a year? Do you think Adam Cole signed with WWE for $60,000 a year? Do you think Bronson Reed signed with WWE for $40,000 a year? If you pay attention of what Nick Khan has been doing across the board, they are removing all of the bloated salaries on NXT that, don't get me wrong, Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, Adam Cole, they deserve to make some serious coin because they're that good. WWE has not really used Keith Lee or Karrion Kross anywhere near to their potential. But the thing is, Nick Khan is not going to leave a $100,000 wrestler on NXT for 500,000 viewers, 700,000 viewers in front of 200 people in the Capitol Wrestling Center. I don't want to work the WWE Raw or SmackDown schedule. All right, fine. Bye. Bye. As far as Bronson Reed, the only thing that I can make out of this, it's not budget cuts, Mongo Slade. You're smarter than that. It's not budget cuts. They're not suffering. It's not suffering. They had a bloated payroll. And I know that's not politically correct, but if they had $120 million for wrestlers and they opened the books, why do we need $20 million in payroll for NXT? This is the developmental system. You don't take a major league. The only time a major league baseball player making millions and millions of dollars is in the minor leagues is when he sucks. You don't sign an uber superstar and you keep him in AAA or AA baseball for the majority of his career. No, the whole idea is to go to the major leagues. So WWE, they're coming in. Look at the Bray Wyatt lantern. I just picked it up today for someone as a gift. The Bray Wyatt lantern. About 2 months ago, that lantern was $65 on WWE Shop. A lot of Bray Wyatt stuff was significantly reduced in price. I went there today to pick up the lantern. You know, that Bray Wyatt released. $90. $90. Everything has gone up in price. Look at these John Cena NFTs for $1,000. A collector's box. The same size collector's box of the stuff we were giving away. It's all about the money. WWE and Nick Khan has realized, why are we paying this much for this many people? Why do you think so many wrestlers are with AEW and Tony Khan? Tony Khan looks like an awesome guy. Very likable guy. Very genuine. Truly is a wrestling fan and wants to really go out of his way to make wrestling fans happy. I have nothing but praise for that. But for wrestlers, it's a freaking business. It's their livelihood. This is their income. They're not going to, leave WWE, whether it's their choice or someone else's, and then no. That's why Dixie Carter, when everybody was working there, Aunt Dixie and this and that. And then they go to WWE and you hear AJ Styles. And I'm not trying to single him out, but, if Dixie would have just let everybody, you think he would have said something like that while he was working there or trying to get a paycheck there? No. Business is business at the end of the day. WWE looks out for themselves selfishly, just like I would look out for myself selfishly, just like you would look out for yourself selfishly. So when you see for the last couple of months, the office is losing 50 people, the office is losing another 24 people, 40 wrestlers getting released in a matter of months, and then they hire another dozen in Las Vegas the other day. You think they paid them $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to be in a performance center? I guarantee you some of those wrestlers would have paid WWE to get the opportunity. So that is what's happening with NXT. It is more about cost than about creative direction. The problem is no one works for free. No one works for little money unless they're up and coming or they're really, really, really hungry, where they're willing to take less money, like Samoa Joe and others. That is what's going on. So now you have a kind of salary like you do with Karrion Kross. We're not keeping him on NXT. Keith Lee, we're not bringing him back to NXT. We're not going to move Aleister Black to NXT, which would have been awesome. No, we're not even seeing like older stars get a little opportunity and show up there because it's all about cost. WWE has record profits, not because they're scumbags, but because they realized we don't need to pay 150 wrestlers, 200 wrestlers. We could do the same damn thing with only 100. If you owned a supermarket, if you owned a little bodega right now, if you owned a little cigarette shop right now, anybody tuning in, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, whoever owns a business, a small business, little candy store, and you walk in there and there's just one register, and you go in there usually for cigarettes, for lotto, buy some magazines, and maybe a birthday card. That's it. You look behind the counter and there's 5 people behind the counter. Why do we need 5 people? We only need 2. Oh, but it's COVID. It's COVID. We can't cut people. No, your family is going to do whatever it takes to protect themselves, to protect their future. That is what's going on. So if Adam Cole re-signs and stays in NXT, I guarantee you the Monday is not going to be breaking the bank. If I were Adam Cole, I would not re-sign with NXT. Adam Cole deserves a huge payday. The guy has been the MVP for NXT for the last couple of years, and that is just a fact. Tommaso Ciampa, older wrestler, is at the tail end of his career. He's not looking to work a crazy schedule. You think he's getting paid Uber's amount of money? No. You look at that entire NXT roster right now and you tell me who is breaking the bank and you'll come up with virtually nobody. That is what's going on. That is why some people are brought to the main roster, because they're not going to leave them in NXT to perform in front of 200 fans for 600,000 viewers and getting paid that kind of money. That is the facts. That is the fact. So I just wanted to open up with that because I know it sounds almost obvious, but even me, for these past bunch of months, I never put that all together as to why everything's going now in NXT. NXT was not a failure. It just got so freaking expensive. And they forgot, like we said in March of last year, they forgot that they were supposed to be the developmental for WWE to breed the future Sasha Banks, to breed the future Bayley, to breed the future whoever that has come up. And if you do bring someone in from Japan and you bring someone else, they're going to be humble. They're going to start at the bottom. If they are ready for prime time, they're going right to Raw or SmackDown. They're not hanging out in NXT. That is what's going on. And I know it's not sexy, because if anybody else that was doing a show came up with this, well, this is kind of boring. Isn't it more sexy to say that Triple H is being locked out of meetings? Yeah, it's like the Miz back in the day. They threw his bags in the street and he couldn't hang out in the locker with everyone else. Everybody's making Triple H to look like some fucking victim. He is in those meetings with everybody else. But when enough people say the same thing, you start believing it. What is that, Mandela effect? The Mandela effect. People are convinced half the things they say are true. It's not true. And as time goes by, you're starting to realize it. You're starting to realize it. So, yeah, NXT is undergoing some major changes, but they're going back to their roots. Yesterday was the anniversary of Bayley versus Sasha Banks, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, one of the greatest matches in NXT history. And at that time, you didn't have anywhere near the number of eyes on that product like it is now, because people online insist on a war. They insisted that AEW and NXT are at war. And that was so unfair for the young wrestlers that originally signed, that thought that, you know, they could work their way up and they could practice, they could tweak, they could do this. And the minute they try to tweak something on TV and it doesn't work out, you got Twitter account NXT botches replaying it, everybody laughing. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up. That's the truth. That is the truth. So, with that said, Joe Punches, do I foresee Nick Khan as a future on-screen character like Johnny Ace? That would be interesting. No, not in the least. He is not going to be an on-air character. He will probably be more visible and maybe doing a little bit more as far as interviews and being quoted. But, you know, like I said, people could go on social media and claim that they have a direct source that says this and says this and says this, because they know Triple H is not going to go on social media and say you're a liar. You're not going to have Vince go on social media and call out somebody as a liar. Nick Khan is not going to go out there and call someone a liar. Some people actually accuse Nick Khan of lying in that interview to Ariel Helwani. Think about the ramifications for investors if Nick Khan lied about what was going on. Just think about that. You know, it sounds cute in a tweet, but when you're talking about billion-dollar company with investors in the stock market, that guy is not going to tweak things simply because, Nick is just trying to trigger AEW fans. That's why Nick Khan is being paid millions and the people online are being paid $6.77 for a YouTube video. Without super chats, of course. And that's the truth. Steve Joseph, am I going to review NWA's pay-per-view Saturday? Yeah, I think so. I don't think I'll be doing it live, though. But, yeah, I mean, I'll probably do it either as part of Wednesday Night. I'll talk to Mish. You know, maybe if Mish wants to do a little review, maybe we can. I mean, look, I'm not trying to say this to pander, but it's just like indie wrestling. You know, it's awesome to see stars or up-and-coming stars that will work 200% for you, whether there's 10 people in the building watching or 1,000 people in the building watching. So we don't give you quality or lack thereof based on how many people that tune in. So I'll talk to Mish. I'll see if he wants to do it because I know he's watching it. So yeah, I think we will. I really do think we will. Edwin G. Yeah, I'm going to get into Raw now. Logan Paul, man. WWE tried so freaking hard. You know, WWE thinks that they can make anybody a babyface and anybody a heel. I don't know what's going to happen with Becky Lynch. I'm sure you've seen those rumors that WWE is having her as a heel. I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see how it plays out on TV. James Campbell says, does it seem like WWE does not know who they want to change Lashley or until Big E crosses over? Well, after watching Raw tonight, you realize what we talked about the night of SummerSlam. Who's next for Lashley? If anybody was paying attention of this YouTube title up until a couple of hours ago, the title I put up a couple of days ago was, who's next for Lashley? Because we honestly, SummerSlam said, who's next? I mean, they're going to Saudi Arabia soon. But it's like, who next? You know what it feels like? Extreme Rules. Lashley's going to have more than one opponent. That's what it feels like. Who would have ever thought, seriously, as much as we love RK Bro and as much as we like a few other things, who would have ever thought that, and I'm being sincere when I say this, who would have ever thought that for the last couple of months, all they have for Bobby Lashley is Kofi Kingston and Bill Goldberg? Think about that. That entire Raw roster, all they've been able to come up with for the last couple of months is Kofi Kingston and Bill Goldberg. And now, is there anybody? So what are they doing? Trying to milk a month? Get through Extreme Rules? Think about that. Then you get the Survivor Series, so they could have champion versus champion, so title doesn't have to be on the line anyway. Man, I hate to say this. I think Bobby Lashley's title reign is going to suck for the next couple of months. It sure feels that way. Nirafe, do I think NXT should go back to Full Sail? No, I talked about this the other day. They're ending their relationship with Full Sail. Why? Because it costs too much. That's it. There's no controversy. But all the fans, I'm not saying it's you, but all the fans, look at the energy. They're Full Sail. It's the same people every show. You can't duplicate that energy. All right. Stop paying $50 a ticket. Remember I did my whole rant? Yesterday, I think I did it. I did the rant about my friend with the bologna sandwich. When it's free, it tastes so much better. Yum. This is great. The white bread sticking to the top of my roof of my mouth tastes so good. Now when that sandwich is $10, like to quote Iron Sheik, yeah, Full Sail was an awesome crowd. I had a lot of friends that went to Full Sail every NXT show. Cost too much. That's why they're ending it. Edward, yeah. So Logan Paul, as I was saying, WWE thinks they could turn anybody babyface and anybody heel. So what did they do? Vintage WWE. Back in the day, when Raw was in the 90s especially, if they wanted a wrestler to get extra heel heat during the commercial break, a wrestler who was scheduled to come out next or shortly after, during the commercial break, would come out to the live crowd. And if they were heel, they would put down the live crowd and just embarrass people, get heat on themselves. And then 20 minutes later, when they're on Raw, holy shit, this person was really, like, the fans really was shitting on this guy tonight. Because a lot of us live on TV didn't realize during the commercial break, they came out there and they shit on the crowd. That is something WWE is always known for doing. So what do they do tonight? Right before Logan Paul comes out for his segment with Miz and Morrison, and yes, we will talk about Miz and Morrison in a second. What did they do? They take one of the true heels right now in WWE and Baron Corbin, and for all of us live at home and in the crowd, we see the repeat from SummerSlam where Logan Paul calls Baron Corbin an asshole. Oh, he called Baron Corbin an asshole. You go, Logan. Didn't work. That guy came out, got nuclear heat. Isn't nuclear heat fun? Admit it. Logan Paul, I don't think he himself realized that was going to happen. They set it up for him to be the babyface. He was supposed to be with Miz and Morrison. Miz and Morrison was supposed to be the bad guys, and Logan Paul was supposed to be a little bit wise. It's almost like the Raw guest host appearances. So VJ says, watch the Lashley BSS, genuine, humble guy. Oh, no, the Broken Skull, I've seen that interview. I've always said Lashley is one of the classiest, nicest people around. I'm just talking about what we're watching on TV. It has nothing to do with Lashley personally. Lashley is awesome. Very, very awesome guy. Professional, went along with everything that he was told to do, looks out for some of the guys on the roster, some not getting opportunity. Guy's class. As great as he looks stressed, that's how he is. If his clothes could represent his personality, that's him. But Logan Paul tonight, they did that whole you're an asshole thing for SummerSlam for tonight. They were trying to get the fans to get a little bit behind Logan Paul. Did not work. But as I was going to say, nuclear heat is fun. When someone just gets destroyed out there booing. When Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker the next night on Raw, when he came out, and those boos went on for minutes and minutes and minutes, that was fun. This is my yard now. Nuclear heat is great. That's why I wanted Kenny Omega to come out on Friday's Rampage to CM Punk's music. Let everybody think CM Punk is coming out, and instead Kenny Omega does. Now, obviously the reason why they didn't do it is because they didn't want Kenny Omega and CM Punk to cross paths yet. Take note, they did a pre-recorded interview moments later of Kenny Omega talking about Christian Cage. Kenny Omega said nothing about CM Punk. Guy wore a Cookie Monster shirt a couple of weeks ago, wore a Chick Magnet shirt, was throwing references to CM Punk, and suddenly he cuts a promo and acts like CM Punk never debuted. Obviously, it was pre-recorded, but they knew he was going to be there that day. But just imagine, still CM Punk would have come out on Rampage, but imagine if Kenny Omega came out to that music first. That guy would have had debris thrown at him. I think people would have went to concessions, say, hurry up, give me a hot dog, just to throw it at him. That's what nuclear heat is. I love nuclear heat. Shawn Michaels, when he came out to Bret Hart's music in Canada several years ago, that was nuclear heat. It is not easy, and it's not often somebody gets nuclear heat. I love nuclear heat. Absolutely love it. But I agree, Dayhawk, the Logan Paul segment was awful. Seriously. When the guy walked out of the ring, I honestly think in some way in the back of his head, he's like, let me just get the fuck out of here. It was awful. There's nothing WWE could do right now to make him a babyface unless he calls Bill Goldberg an asshole. Seriously. I mean, or, you know, I don't know. Like, he's just too hated. There's some people that you're like, they know they're going to get, trends because of it. But in the end, you know, they realize now, yeah, there's nothing we could do to get this guy over as babyface. And good. I'm glad. I don't like Logan Paul. I don't follow him, so I'm indifferent to him. When I see that guy on TV and I see the heat that the guy has, the only way I would accept that is if they actually booked a match against him and like Brock Lesnar would suplex him 50 times. If WWE got Logan Paul to agree to get the living shit knocked out of him, like what Brock Lesnar did to Cena, not only this SummerSlam, but many years ago, then I would be fine with it. But if I were WWE, do not revisit Logan Paul again anytime soon. Thank you, 𝘗cie 𝘀𝘀'𝘀. Main event results from tonight: Jeff Hardy over Shelton Benjamin, and the Viking Raiders over the Lucha House Party. I think in the description box, I might have put Cedric Alexander, so that's my mistake. I'll fix that after the show's over. I do know Keith Lee wrestled another dark match tonight. I don't know who his opponent was, but they're giving Keith Lee more work. They're giving him more work, and they're giving him dark matches. So they're just letting him, he can't just have one match on TV. Hey, I'm ready to go. When he had the heart condition he had, they're going to take baby steps with Keith Lee. And I know for us wrestling fans, no, we just want to see him on TV. Get a push, now. When you had the health scare that he had, they're going to take their time bringing Keith Lee back into the fold. He's doing dark matches, 2-minute matches, getting work, getting, you know, the rhythm back, getting the stamina, making sure all the health tests are good. So, you know, plenty of time. Give him plenty of time. I don't know what we'll see with Mia Yim. I really don't know. I don't know. James Campbell is asking me, did I experience nuclear heat? No, I was a nobody. The only time I ever, the worst heat that I ever got doing an indie show is when everybody thought I put X-Lax in the cannolis. And I'm sorry for telling this story for people that don't know the story, but it was the second annual Chris Candido Memorial Show. I actually had the privilege of having 3 segments on that show. And back then, I was known as Tony Cannoli. I didn't have the Don Tony name yet or anything like that. It was Tony Cannoli. And I would come out with cannolis. I give them to everybody around ringside. And then I would have an empty cannoli tray, and I would give it to whoever I was managing, and they would use it as a weapon. So I was like giving away food and sneaking weapons in the ring as well. Sometimes it would backfire, and I would get the cannoli tray smashed over my head. So at the Chris Candido Memorial Show, after a couple of shows of giving out cannolis, if you remember the video I showed you that not too long ago where my watch broke when Louis smashed the chair over my head, I had given out a ton of cannolis before that. And I got chair bashed and knocked out, and everybody laughed. So the following show, I brought out, I think, 200 cannolis, gave it around to everybody at ringside, and I had a shopping bag. And after they ate the cannolis, everybody loved me when I was giving them free food. Soon as the cannolis were all eaten, or most of them were eaten, they were done, I went in the ring, and I got in the microphone after something that happened to me, and everybody was laughing and calling me all these names and everything. I'm like, you know, it's funny. I said, all of you out, I don't remember exactly what I said. I said, all of you out there, you know, you eat my cannolis, you enjoy my cannolis. Everybody's my friend when I'm giving you stuff. But as soon as it's over, I'm your enemy. Well, guess what? I got a surprise for everybody tonight. I took a shopping bag, and all I did was dump it in the middle of the ring. And what came out were 20 empty boxes of X-Lax. The next thing you know, I have hot dogs being thrown at me, sodas, whatever people could throw at me. I'm getting pelted with garbage. And I remember the mass maniac in the corner. He's like, can't have this. So I jetted out of the ring, and then we go to intermission. Now, intermission, you know, I was doing like the tickets at the, like, Frank trusted me with the money. You get the tickets and everything else. So I would sit at the front in case anybody came in late. And I'll never forget it. There was a guy that came up to me that was jacked, big time jacked, musclehead. And he had like his 6-year-old son with him. And his 6-year-old son, and I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but his 6-year-old son was fat. I mean, fat where MJF, if he saw him ringside, MJF would say, like, take care of your son. How do you let your son go like that? He was fat. He had a soda in his hand. So during intermission, this guy walks up to me and he's like, Anthony, can I ask you a question? I'm like, sure, what's up? He's like, you got to tell me the truth. Did you really put 𝘗𝗀𝘀 in the cannolis? Now, I've always said this before. When I started doing stuff for managing, I watched tons of wrestlers, managers in wrestling, shoot interviews, promos, advice, anything that anybody would ever give, I would just soak it all in. And the one thing that always stuck out to me was Bobby Heenan in his shoot interview saying that when he was a manager, the one thing that he always did is from the beginning of the show to the end of the show, he would always act like what you would do in real life, but he always remained in character, no matter what. No matter what. So when the guy asked me that, I immediately thought about the Bobby Heenan comment. And I didn't know what to say to the guy. So rather than being like a character or being honest, I said to the guy, it's like, look, I said, no matter what I tell you right now, I said, look at your son. He's got this big soda in his hand. He probably ate a hot dog. He ate a cannoli. I said anybody would go home and have a stomach ache. So whether I tell you he has the 𝘗𝗀𝘀 or not, he might have a stomach ache anyway because he ate and drank too much. And all you saw was like veins. I don't even know if there's even like veins exist in certain areas of the neck. I saw this guy's, face start turning red. And he's like, I want to ask you again, did you put 𝘗𝗀𝘀 in the cannolis? When I'm not bullshitting. When I saw this guy get angry and I realized his son ate one of the cannolis. Sorry, Bobby. My immediate reaction was, fuck this. I'm not getting my ass kicked. I was like, do you really think I would do that to any kids out there? Oh, I knew you wouldn't do that, but I just needed to know. So I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to get my ass kicked. So I told him the truth. I would never put it. I get arrested. But you know where I got that idea? I mean, anybody that goes back with me 15 years remembers the story. When I was 15 years old, I used to hang out in Woodhaven, Queens, and I'm not happy about this. Please, we're talking 35 years ago. All right, we're talking the middle 80s. I was 15 years old. I used to hang out in Woodhaven, Queens. My aunt lived on this block, and I became friends with their neighbor. And it was me and this guy, Rob, and we used to always go to Met games and everything. We were teenagers. So down the block, there was this girl that had big bazoomas. And we always wanted to, talk to her and everything like that. But she hated us. And she was Italian, and she had these big bazoomas and everything. And every time we would, be like, Lisa, come here. Go away. That's what she would be. So she had this little brother that was 4 or 5 years old. His name was Vito. And he would just run up and down the block. We would be playing with the boombox because at that time breakdancing was in and Run DMC and all this other stuff. And we're cranking the boombox in front of my friend's house. And little Vito would run down the thing and he would knock the radio over, or he'd try to play with the buttons, or we would just be hanging out, not even paying attention. All of a sudden, somebody would turn the volume all the way up and you could blow speakers like that. It was a pain in the ass. So we went to the deli one day in the summertime and we bought sandwiches and soda and everything. And we saw a box of 𝘗𝗀𝘀 on the counter. So my friend Rob, he's like, let's get the 𝘗𝗀𝘀. I didn't know why at first. And then I realized later on. Vito, the next time he was a little pain in the ass, we said, Vito, come here, chocolate. And we gave the little kid 𝘗𝗀𝘀. Not too much, but we gave him some chocolate. I swear to fucking God. I swear to God, I swear I'll never do a show ever again. About 20 minutes later, this 5-year-old, 6-year-old little, I'm not proud of it, but I'm just telling you a story. This 5 or 6-year-old little Vito is running down the street like he always does in the sidewalk. And as he's running halfway through, he starts grabbing his ass. I got boxer shorts on. He's running. And as he's running, he goes like this. He starts grabbing his ass and just sat down and started crying hysterical. His sister comes out with these big bazoomas and she picks him up and there's a puddle of shit on the sidewalk. If I did that 15 years old today, I'd be arrested. And I should be arrested. I was stupid at that time. But Vito, vinegar, come here, Vito, chocolate. That's how I came up with the X-Lax idea for wrestling. That's the only time that I ever got what you would call nuclear heat. I hope everybody's just having a good time. You know, we're not here to be like uber professional and everything. We're just hanging out, having a good time tonight. So, but thank you, Crazy Cruiserweight, again for the main event results. Shout out to Sean KB. What are my thoughts about Rob Black announcing XPW being resurrected? Disco Inferno saying he hated working the Mass Maniac shows. Shout out to you. Two things. I've mentioned this before. They're doing a Dark Side of the Ring XPW. So Rob Black wants to get XPW's name back out there a little bit. I love it, but it's not going to really do anything. I mean, honestly, XPW, you know, a lot of people don't realize that Wrestling Society X pretty much was XPW. I know some people know exactly why I say that, but XPW's done. Different era. Bringing the name back, it's going to be back in name value only. It's like Impact Wrestling bringing back the TNA Championship. You know, it sounds like nostalgia and everything like that, but at the end of the day, it's just to get a little bit of publicity. And you know what? When I worked for XPW, I always thought Rob Black was cool, man. That guy never did anything to slight me. I mean, that guy Slash, different story, but Rob Black was cool. And I mean, I know the controversy and, you know, the criminal stuff, but, you know, everybody in that company that came from the West Coast were awesome. Seriously. Even some of the porn stars that came across that were hanging out. Tom Byron. Anybody remember Tom Byron? That guy showed up in Philly for their first or second show. And I remember it was Lizzie Borden's birthday, because I remember we went to, I think, Carvel, and maybe it was snowing or something. I know it was cold, but there was no heat in the ECW arena, and everybody was surprising Lizzie Borden for her birthday. And Tom Byron was hanging out and a bunch of others. And, you know, you always heard these crazy stories about these people, but they were awesome, man. Kevin Kleinrock was cool. I can't remember who's the announcer. Holy shit. I feel so bad that I'm forgetting his name right now. The announcer, Chris Kloss allowed me to sleep in his hotel room because I got kicked out of the hotel because of an incident. I don't know if a lot of you know that incident, but that was not a good incident. I caused XPW not being welcomed back to a hotel in Philadelphia because I had an incident with a guy at a counter. We'll save that we'll talk about it Thursday if you want. I know if anybody that's been around with me for 20 years, you're like, oh, here comes that story again. But a lot of people don't know the story. So anyway, let's get back to tonight. Tonight, let's talk about Raw. All right. Before we talk about Karrion Kross's mask, let's talk about this. Mish and I, for the last couple of weeks, we were like, please, WWE, do not split them up. I know they're kind of teasing it. Please do not split them up. Their comedy stuff is not worn out yet. Their comedy is different than Rated RK Bro. Do not split Miz and Morrison. So we get this awful segment with Logan Paul and Miz and Morrison. Xavier Woods comes out. Xavier Woods ends up having a match with The Miz. Towards the end of the match, Morrison tries to help The Miz with the dripstick. It backfires. And Xavier Woods beats The Miz. And Morrison trying to be like lighthearted fun. Come on, let's just do the dripstick. You know, a loss is a loss. Dripstick. He goes and gets the dripsticks. Miz, Morrison starting to shoot water into the crowd, and Miz just wails on Morrison. Turns on Morrison. They're going to have a match next week. We got Extreme Rules in a fucking month. Let these two guys have a match at Extreme Rules. No rules, please. Whatever happens next week. And I know a lot of you out there say, DT, you got a knack of calling matches. Yeah, I started tweeting tonight more than I ever did on a Raw. because I'm going to do that from now on. Because all those crystal balls that I have generated over the years, nobody knows about them if I don't tweet. But Miz and Morrison next week, since it's a regular match, it should end with just a brawl outside the ring. And regular rules cannot contain these two guys. Let it lead up to a match at Extreme Rules. Let them fucking tear it up, because this is an awesome relationship. You remember, even with the Braun Strowman stuff inside the van, like two college kids, like pranking Braun. I loved it all. And if you're going to split two of the most energetic, because Mish, give Mish this credit. Mish has said this 1,000 times over the years. Miz is best when he's bouncing off someone else. And Morrison would never be out of his shell and be in this personality he is now without someone to bounce off of. So now you take that away. So if you're going to take that element away, at least make it feel like these two guys want to kill each other over this. So I'm hoping next week ends in whether they can't be contained, controlled. Adam Pearce, where the fuck are you? Come out there, or Sonya Deville or someone, and announce at Extreme Rules, these two guys. Falls count anywhere. Anything goes. The winner, put a dripstick on a pole. I don't care. First person to shove the dripstick up someone's ass so far that the water comes out of their nose is the winner. This needs to be a match at Extreme Rules. I know all things have to come to an end, but I'm going to miss that comedy shit. And I almost feel like the reason why they got rid of the comedy stuff with them right now is because now it's going to go to Rated RK Bro. That's what it feels like to me. So they're now split. Oh, by the way, I was surprised how many people got a kick out of this. Baron Corbin, no longer blocked. 77 down, I think 4 to go. Yeah, there was a time that I was banned by about 90 people. Little by little. I think, and I don't say shit on these shows to get likes or banned or unbanned, but that was something that went on for years and years and years and years and years. And it's weird, because I was genuine about it. I said, never in a million years, last week, I said, never in a million years I ever thought I would stop becoming a fan of Baron Corbin. But he's really taking this and he is doing what I always love. They film vignettes over the weekend. He's inside a Vegas casino. I can't show the footage. I don't want copyright issues. He's in a Vegas casino gambling, for real. And he's wearing the mustard shirt. Funniest thing. That guy is taking the character and is actually going out in public with it. And it's working. It's working. That's why I even say, even Zack Ryder, when he had that storyline with Kane and he had the broken leg and he was showing up places with the broken leg, when Shawn Michaels had the blind angle with JBL and Shawn Michaels, I did an autograph signing. I worked with Video Game Central to do a Shawn Michaels autograph signing. Son of a bitch showed up wearing a patch. Jon Moxley. For everybody out there that was just saying, well, DT, those were so many years ago. Jon Moxley. They did an eye injury, last year or the year before? And he showed up everywhere wearing a patch. Didn't have to do that. I love when people try to take their shit to the next level. As much as many of you out there may not still like Corbin, I give that guy credit for doing what he's doing right now. It's almost like true example of taking chicken shit and turning it into chicken salad. Good job. Good job. I had to say that. So, Nikki A.S.H. today teaming up. And by the way, we'll start taking calls in about 15 minutes. We're going to end this a little early today because I think I've done 11 days straight, 12 days straight. And I want to rest my voice a little bit. I don't want to overload everybody. Tomorrow I'll be on Patreon with Mish. He went to Rampage on Friday, so he's going to talk about that tomorrow. The reason why he's not here today is because he had to go to the airport to pick someone up. I saw the travel itinerary. He was not lying. I don't want anybody to think, oh, he's starting to slack. No, promise you that. And trust me, if he was, I would open my mouth. And he knows that too. Then Wednesday, we got Wednesday Night Dynamite. Thursday, Q&A. By the way, Thursday, we'll do the next contest. I haven't decided what we're giving away yet. Next week, we'll bring contest back over here. We'll probably just do trivia. This way we don't do what we did last week. You know, that was funny, but, you know, that went on a little too long. So anyway, before I talk about Kross, Nikki A.S.H. Today, she teams up with Rhea Ripley. She wants Rhea Ripley to team up with her so she can feel a little bit better because she lost the championship. Now, you know my feelings about Nikki A.S.H. I think she's a sweetheart personally. She looks like a wonderful woman. Just seeing her, the tears before SummerSlam, I like her. Personally, I think she's seems like a really, really wonderful person. But I'm not dating her. She's not friends with me. She's not a relative, a neighbor. Her relationship to me is she's supposed to entertain me. And in my life, after 18, 19 months of COVID, after all of this turmoil in the streets, race riots, Proud Boys, Antifa, Trump, anti-Trump, black, white, Afghanistan, with all this stuff, with all of everything bringing you down, I need superheroes or success, inspiration, people doing over and above. That's what keeps me inspired. That's what keeps me happy. That's what keeps me going. Not someone who says to me, you almost got the job. You almost got laid. You almost hit the lottery. You almost did this. You almost did. Fuck that. No, almost. I want it. And there's almost. I've said it for a while now. Nikki's got to turn on the WWE Universe. In fact, when I saw them teaming up today, you know, like people online showed that picture. They said, hey, everybody, name this team. I swear to you, look around online. You will find nobody that came up with this before me. As soon as I saw that team, I got it. That is Team Diarrhea. No joke. Come on. Look at the spelling of the name. Take away that's it. Team Diarrhea. See, Diarrhea. That's Rhea's name. Diarrhea. That's what it is. Team Diarrhea. Nothing personal against Nikki. I like her. But I hate the superhero thing. So what happens? They team up today. They take on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I thought Nia and Shayna kind of split. They're still a tag team. They keep screwing each other up. They try to help each other. It keeps backfiring. And sure enough, what ends up happening is Nia's outside the ring. Nikki dives onto Nia. And it was weird because I know where they're going with this. But if you go back when Nikki A.S.H. got the hot tag to Rhea Ripley, Rhea Ripley's in the corner and the crowd is pumping up and everything. And Rhea is like, and Rhea hits the ring. And she's hitting move. Burst of energy. Come up, get up. I mean, like this, just nonstop. And she hits the riptide onto Shayna Baszler. And she's like this, nonstop. Like she had too many no-dos. So what happened? She gets the pin. And Nikki A.S.H. is excited. Nikki A.S.H. almost like jumps into Rhea's lap. I know some of you are like, kiss. So Rhea Ripley looks at her like, "How's your problem? Why are you so excited? Please go back and watch that match again. Watch Rhea Ripley leading up to the pinfall. Rhea Ripley was 20 times more energetic than Nikki was. So Nikki's like all happy and she like almost jumps in celebration. And Rhea is like, I like my M&Ms with peanuts. Like, what are you doing? So I don't know. I just thought it came off kind of goofy on TV. But if that leads to Nikki ASH turning, I'm fine with it. So I'm telling you, there were people online, kiss, 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 kiss. I'm like, you got a lot. You have diarrhea on the brain. Team diarrhea. Should leave that in the corner for the rest of the show. Team diarrhea. I come on. Sometimes I do come up with some good ones. So anyway, Team Diarrhea gets the win. And I'm sure we'll probably have the rematch next week. Look, give WWE credit. We had some matches today, a little bit different. Not your usual rematches next week, a little bit different. We could talk about the opener. Bobby Lashley comes out with MVP. MVP recaps everything that happened at SummerSlam. Bobby Lashley getting a lot of heel heat. So then Damian Priest comes out. Damian Priest, if you pay attention, when Damian Priest first started saying like, oh, you saying this, you're talking about Goldberg and, cowards and all this stuff, Damian Priest got booed. Damian Priest ended up winning them over because when in doubt, always say balls in Spanish. Well, let's see, Lashley, if you have the cojones to face me. That's all you got to do. It happens. Raquel Gonzalez has said something like that. We've had Mercedes Martinez when she was in NXT. They always go like to a Latino word, like, you say cojones? Soon as Damian Priest went balls, everybody cheered today. And he said to Bobby Lashley, if you don't face me, you're a coward. So Lashley gets pissed off. They have a little bit of a pull apart. And boom, impromptu match. Damian Priest versus Bobby Lashley. Right away, people are like, but they're both champions. Neither one should lose right now. That's why I wrote on social media, I said, everyone, it's going to end in a DQ clusterfuck. Somebody's going to run in, and then it's going to turn into a promptu tag match. And then at the end of the night, Damian Priest will have 2 wins under his belt. That is to get Damian Priest to the next level. And that's exactly what happened. Sheamus hit the ring, caused the DQ. Damian Priest wins. Drew McIntyre comes out to assist. We go to commercial. We come back. Tag match. And I even said on Twitter that I said Sheamus is the one that needs to eat the pin. This way Lashley loses without being pinned. Drew McIntyre, gets a win, obviously, but he wins with Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre helps Damian Priest. In fact, I think down the line we'll probably see Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Remember I said that. So during the tag match, Lashley gets pissed off and he walks off. And Sheamus, fella, where you going? Lashley goes to the back. Sheamus ultimately gets pinned. And later on, Sheamus has a little backstage confrontation with Bobby Lashley. So next week, we have Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus. Interesting. But as I said earlier, it just goes to show you that it seems like WWE, other than maybe Big E cashing in that briefcase, WWE has nothing for Bobby Lashley. I'm not calling Goldberg and Kofi nothing. But you would have thought, especially after WrestleMania, Bobby Lashley would go on some impressive run. And if for the foreseeable future, like, who's the standout? Other than Big E cashing in on Lashley, Extreme Rules, you see it. It's probably going to be, I don't think Drew McIntyre should be in that match. In fact, maybe Drew McIntyre takes on Damian Priest at Extreme Rules. I think Lashley's going to end up facing multiple people. I don't mind heel versus heel matches. It's if the match is a little bit different, it's interesting. I'm still holding off a little bit of the Karrion Kross because I think we'll go right into calls because what I'm going to say might spark some of you to call in and never feel that you can't disagree with me. I don't bite. I just don't care for trolls. You know, if you have something you want to say, and get ready because we're going to be taking calls very, very soon. There's no reason why we have to get into every little nook and cranny tonight. Elias, more of this. You know what I'm starting to look at this as? And yes, I'm taking a sip of my beverage. They keep doing Elias is dead. WWE used to stand for Walk with Elias. Talking about the music, everything like that. Later, they did this vignette, like a variation of the same freaking thing again, 3 weeks in a row. Then later on, he's got this white, like round hat as he walks away, and he just turns around and looks. I'm starting to look at this is that Elias is not dead. The tombstone, to me, doesn't represent Elias as dead. To me, it's Elias is buried. It's a big difference. Because I think Elias has been buried for quite some time. So Elias is still going to be in the ring. How much different is he going to be? Is he going to shave the beard off? What is he going to do? Is he not going to sing? He doesn't sing during his matches. You know, he might perform before. He might play something after the entrance music. But during the match, he's not like, oh, yeah, I'm going to beat your ass. Yeah, I'm going to beat your ass. Like, once he starts wrestling, it's Elias. So I don't know what they're going to do with this character. I don't know. I think it needs to speed up a little bit. Talk about someone who suddenly has nobody. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious they did an audible with Becky Lynch because Sasha being off TV for a little while. Because you just put the title back on Charlotte. Now, she came out tonight looking beautiful as ever, celebrating the Queen's dozen, 12 wins. And she started the original evolution, and she's starting a new evolution. And as this going on, I'm saying to myself, who is going to come out and interrupt her promo? The only person I could think of was Asuka. Because you put someone from NXT on there, who are you going to put? Dakota Kai? Think the fans are going to eat that shit up? No. Unless they sign like a Tessa Blanchard or something and we didn't know about it. So I'm saying to myself, like, who is going to interrupt Charlotte to lead to the next feud? And oh my fucking God, they did this. I have nothing against Alexa Bliss. Who in the blue hell thinks that Charlotte selling for Alexa Bliss is going to be money? Are they going to bring back the voodoo stuff? That's the only thing I could see. Charlotte, people like, she won't sell for Naomi. She won't sell for Dana Brooke. She won't sell for Liv Morgan. She won't sell for Rhea Ripley. She won't sell for Asuka. What is she going to do with you think when Alexa Bliss does that little twisted thing and puts her leg over her ear and shit like that, you think Charlotte's going to be like Dewdrop looking at the doll? Yes, I got to bring the chicken back. I don't have the Lily doll. I'm thinking about getting a Lily doll so we could actually use a Lily doll. And honestly, after SummerSlam, I don't know, seeing Eva Marie go like this, dish, dish, dish. I actually do want to do this on this show. I want to get the Lily doll and just... Remember Dewdrop? Are you going to actually do that with Charlotte? What the hell? How do you get Charlotte down to the level of Alexa Bliss? And there's nothing against Alexa Bliss, but Alexa Bliss can't wrestle like Charlotte. So what are you going to do, the voodoo stuff again? And Shaw's going to be like this, looking at the Lily doll? Are we going to get another blink? Oh. My God. the top women's champion and top men's champion on Raw have next to nothing. That Fox deal, WWE is kissing their ass, licking their butt, doing everything to keep Fox happy. You got Brock. You got Becky. Now, look, the draft is in October. So by October, I think you may see Becky on Raw. By October, you'll see a few people on Raw that are not there now. So it's almost like, let's just get to October. You know, October is less than 2 months away. Let's just get to October. That's what it feels like right now. But my God, I don't know anybody that really wants to see this at all. Seriously. No, we want Wyatt chance tonight, though. Randy Orton, Riddle, they come out for the RK Bro celebration earlier on. Riddle, don't do anything stupid out there. Randy, you think I would do something stupid? Randy. So early on, it reminded me of the Rock and Sock celebration a little bit, that Riddle is playing Mick Foley and Randy Orton is playing The Rock. Like, the only thing is Riddle didn't bring out, like, people from Randy Orton's past or anything like that. You didn't bring out the clown to, like, make, like, balloons and shit. But it was a fun segment. Riddle brings out a scooter for Randy, and here comes AJ Styles and Omos. Oh, look, Omos, there's a scooter that you could bash over Randy Orton. And AJ Styles, which is something we've talked about, is AJ Styles keeps beating Riddle. So AJ Styles tonight is like, oh, you have all these gifts for Randy Orton. Randy Orton didn't get you nothing. No plants, no gifts, not even a hug. So I have a gift for you, Riddle. That's about a phenomenal forearm upside that head. So impromptu match tonight, Riddle versus AJ Styles. Now, because he's a tag champ, of course, Riddle's going to get the win. Omos tries to interfere. Randy Orton starts brawling with Omos outside. You know, it was funny. Randy Orton kept bashing the new scooter over Omos, and he tossed it. I think he broke it when he tossed it. But Riddle, with beautiful knee to AJ Styles, gets the win. After the match is over, Randy Orton with an RKO to AJ Styles for his troubles. Yes, they will have a rematch because it seems like there is no other tag team right now primed to take on Rated RK Bro. But look, right now, the team is gold. AJ Styles is great at what he does. Omos is developing quite nicely. So if you leave them feuding for another month, I don't think anybody's going to complain. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. Kind of like, because I always show you how WWE will reuse storylines on both brands and you don't realize it. Or you'll see AEW do something very similar to WWE or vice versa. Everybody does it. So today we have Ali doing to Mansoor to what the Dark Order did to Hangman Page about 2 weeks ago. You know, Mansoor is like, look, I'm taking on Jinder. Please, for me, don't get involved no matter what. No problem. Jinder gets himself disqualified for no reason whatsoever. Veer and 𝗁𝗁cie are out there also. Mansoor gets the win by DQ, and, you know, Mansoor's getting his ass kicked, and Ali is outside the ring, and Ali does the very same thing that Evil Uno and Stu Grayson did. Nope. You said, nope, nope. So after that, Ali is like, look at you. What happened to you? If I was Mansoor, I would have been like, I won. He did win. But that's where they're going with it. As soon as someone says, please, let me take care of myself this time, 9 times out of 10, they lose. Even Ali, 2 weeks ago. Remember? He had that look on his face. Watch how that master does it. He lost. All right. Let's get to Karrion Kross. Did I leave anything else out? I know we had a couple little backstage clips. I'm just looking to see if I left anything out. I don't think I did. I know next week we have Doudrop versus Eva Marie. Eva Marie attacked Doudrop today. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you know, everybody was like, oh, she could finally go back to the name Piper. She's interviewed by Sarah Schreiber. You know, Eva Marie gave me the name Doudrop. Well, guess what? I like Doudrop. Piper is going to go with the program. As long as they use it the right way. Again, I don't mind the name. I don't mind the name. All right. Karrion Kross. I'll keep it simple since we're already an hour and 20 minutes in. I want to take calls and be done before 2 hours. All right. Karrion Kross today, when he came out in his match against Ricochet, they gave him this. Now, I will tell you what I've been saying already. There's more to this story, and it's got to build. WWE is not going to take it and hit the fast forward button 2-3 weeks in advance just to shut up social media. They're doing things, good or bad, to get people talking. Once again, Karrion Kross was trending on Twitter. The last time he was trending on Twitter is when he lost to Jeff Hardy, when Jeff Hardy cheated. Now, the two very interesting consistencies with those two is that when Karrion Kross lost to Jeff Hardy, that night people weren't saying, he sucks, he's getting jobbed out, why are they keeping him on there? Just get him off TV, he sucks, Jeff should have won, blah, blah, blah. No, instead, people were like, fuck WWE. Why are you using this guy like this? That's building support around a wrestler. Yes, let WWE be the bad guy. I don't like it. But that's the WWE mentality. Karrion Kross is not embarrassing himself out there in the ring. Karrion Kross is doing what he does. But everybody gets mad at WWE because they chose Karrion Kross to lose. How could you have the NXT? The weird thing about it is, so many people that were complaining about the NXT champion losing to Jeff Hardy on Raw in his debut for Raw, it's weird. If you take some of the most outspoken people online and you take their Twitter account, and again, when people say to me, why you keep bringing up Twitter? Because that's where everything happens. Everything with news and everything else happens there. You give me one neutral website that everybody just reloads to get their information, spur of the moment, then I will bring up that. You want to know the AEW rating? Oh, what was the Rampage rating? 1,120,000. Everybody reloading. What do you think happens on Thursday? 4 p.m. Reload. What was Dynamite's rating? Reload. Twitter. Reload. Somebody out of the thousands of reporters have to post it. Oh, here it is. And then everybody cuts and pastes it. Everybody does that. And the thing is, with Karrion Kross, is if you take some of these most outspoken people that suddenly act like they give a shit about Karrion Kross, not all of them are smart enough to delete their Twitter history. And you will actually see people a week, 2 weeks before get the title off of Karrion Kross. I don't know what people see in him. He sucks. He has no connection with the fans whatsoever. He's bland. Without Scarlett, he's nothing. And then a week later, like triggered because Jeff Hardy beat him on Raw. It's just a weird dynamic going on. Again, I don't like some of WWE's decision-making. So he loses the championship yesterday. We talked earlier about the changes with NXT. But tonight, he debuts with this mask. And if you look further out, they had him wearing what looked a lot like suspenders. The tights and the front of it is exactly what he wore in NXT. Everything that he wore in NXT, he wore tonight with the exception of the suspenders. Now, in the middle of the suspenders, it's got the Roman numeral symbol. Because if you know anything about Karrion Kross's character with TikTok and you have the Roman numeral symbols, that the suspenders are supposed to be an X. That's why he's wearing it. I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. I'm just explaining why it's there. My honest opinion, I'm being straight up. And by the way, I'm sorry for getting mad at one particular person earlier, but I want to make this clear. It's no secret. Karrion Kross is a big supporter of my show, was a big supporter of DTKC. He was supporting our shows before he even got into wrestling. When sometimes people say online, what's some shows that people like? He'll throw our names out there to this day still. And I am always grateful for that. But one thing I have always said for 20 plus years is I don't gush over anybody. I gush over my fiance and my family and my dog, God rest his soul, and my relatives. I don't gush over people. I support them, but I also will give constructive criticism where I want to express my opinion. You remember the video I played of Karrion Kross showing love my way, that little interview clip, and he said, these guys say what's on their mind, good or bad, and they don't back down, and you respect people like that. Karrion Kross did an interview not too long ago that people back before WWE, oh, you're going to go here, and you're going to main event here, and you're going to go to WrestleMania, and he got pissed. He got pissed because he was in no position to be in that level. And that's not what you want to hear. You don't want yes men. You want people that if they see something that may not work or may not click, they want someone with a set of balls to be honest and say, look, you know, just giving my opinion. I don't think, you know, the thing with Adam Cole, he looked like a deer in headlights, you know, but in a couple of years, he'll adapt to WWE and his promos will get stronger because he'll adapt. You know, a lot of people wouldn't do that. Do you remember 3 months ago? Oh, Karrion Kross needs to go to SmackDown immediately, challenge Roman Reigns. Will you please share me whatever drugs you're taking? As much as I like that guy, I'll never sit here and gush and say he should go fight Jesus Christ to be the leader of the world, the religious world, and fight Allah and Jesus Christ and anyone else in a triple threat. People gush. They gush. And somebody said earlier, oh, DT, I know he's your boy, and you'll defend him to the moon. Nobody is my boy. And I don't defend him to the moon. I am honest when I have feelings about things. Don't ever fucking say that I fucking gush and someone's my boy and this and that. There's a lot of people who I absolutely love in wrestling, and I will compliment them 10 times over. That's not gushing. There's a big difference. Gushing is Karrion Kross needs to drop that title and go to SmackDown. He's a superstar. Put him with Scarlett, and they should be facing Roman Reigns the next pay-per-view. That's gushing. So anyway, I'm just being straight out with everybody out there. This outfit, with a pair of freaking suspenders, there's a million things going on in this world, and complaining about the look of a pair of suspenders is not high on my list. My most important thing is that he squashed Ricochet like a grape in 90 seconds. That's what's important. I don't care about the suspenders. All right? I made a point earlier. I should have done a split screen. Maybe I can do a split screen. Let me see if I could still move something around. I can't. Fuck. I can't. You know what? Maybe I could do it in the corner though. Okay? I look at that mask, honestly, I'm being totally honest with you. I look at that mask and you know what I say to myself? I say one thing. Thank God Demolition did not have social media at that time. If Demolition debuted in the middle 80s with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and wherever else, they would have been eaten alive. Demolition Axe has always been healthy, if you know what I mean. His physique is not the prototype. And you imagine people, look at this guy, saggy tits. He looks, he's out of shape. And they put these masks. They're ripoffs of the Road Warriors. Can you imagine if Demolition debuted with social media as it is right now? They would have never gotten the opportunity to develop and become one of the greatest tag teams in history. In history. Crusher Khrushchev and the Masked Superstar putting on leather outfits, S&M masks, and going out there, people would have, seriously, and I'm going to get uber annoyed about a fucking mask. Of course, they're not exactly the same, but how many people have had masks in their career? He's not wearing the mask in the ring. For the people that thought they were cute, oh, Farouk Assad. Farouk Assad wore that shit all throughout in the ring too. It's something you wear coming to the ring. Malachi Black is one of the coolest ones right now. A lot of people wear masks. Sheamus is still wearing the freaking mask. And you know the biggest complaint? Oh, he's copying Cody. Again, I show you this once again. Does it look great? No. No, it doesn't look great. But there's more to this that has to develop. You don't do, exclusive after Raw, and he explains the whole reason for the mask and the this and that. It's got to develop. If you ask me right now, should WWE scrap that? I say yes. I say yes. But I'm not going to sit here and say they're killing him. They're ruining his career. He just choked out Ricochet in 90 seconds. He wasn't wearing the mask during the match. And I'm sorry. Look at it from here. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. I'd rather have Karrion Kross wear X suspenders that coincides with his Roman numerals and be squashing people and choking people out and getting a nice winning streak than someone who is perfectly manicured, who is oiled and wearing no upper attire, no mask. Insinuate the color of his eyes. Make him look. And then some people, oh no, they got to bring back the natural born killers. Yeah, WWE's going to emulate a natural born killers gimmick in WWE. Let's be honest. It's not that big of a deal, everyone. It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad. Again, it's not that much different than this. And I could bring out other masks. If I could tweak one thing about that mask, I would have made it a little bit thinner. But then again, that picture I took, you know, some people, when they really don't like something, they kind of like stretch the size out a little bit to make it look more oval than this. But if that picture is perfectly, you know, sized, I would have made it a little bit thinner. I'm not going to lose sleep over a pair of suspenders and a mask. I hope they get rid of it. You heard it from my mouth. I hope they get rid of it. But if they don't get rid of it, and the worst thing about Karrion Kross is that he comes to the ring for a minute wearing that, And then he is standing victorious, dominating people. I'm not too concerned. I'm willing to give it a chance. Willing to give it a chance. A lot of people forget the Viking Raiders masks that he used to come out to. A lot of people wear masks. That one with Karrion Kross doesn't look all that great. There's no reason why they can't tweak it. Kane's mask changed over time. Mankind's mask changed over time. Their masks were cooler, no question. I'm not going to sit here and say that mask looks fucking incredible. Me, I think it looks fine. I think it looks fine. My main concern is, what do they let him do in the ring, and what is the outcome? And tonight, he got a dominant win over Ricochet. At the end of the day, that's what I care about. I don't want someone that looks beautiful, looks like a sculpture in the ring, and then, and then is shown to look like he's wrestling like shit and getting fruit roll-up all the time on them. Yeah, look, I think we could all agree on something, that some people who do start with outfits, they do get tweaked over time. I mean, if you even look at some of the Undertaker stuff, as time would go by, it would change the way the gloves looked a little bit. They would change that. A lot of characters, when they have an outfit, it got tweaked a little bit. But one thing you got to remember in the back of your mind, and then we'll get out of here with this stuff. One thing you got to remember in the back of your mind is that if you look at a lot of wrestlers over the years that at some point had a little bit of their outfit that might have looked a little bit cheesy, or a mask or something like that, a lot of times they worked out just fine. There are people out there that had masks that amounted to nothing, but that was more of their wrestling ability or lack thereof. It's not like Karrion Kross can't wrestle out of a paper bag, so if it all fails, it's just a complete failure. A lot of wrestlers that were uber talented were able to get past that. So we should be concerned with what they're doing in the ring with him and what the outcome is. That's what I'm concerned about more than anything else. And look, as far as the Scarlett situation, like I said yesterday, from what I understand, if it was up to me, she would have came out today also. If it was up to me. But if it plays out the way I perceive it to be playing out, we have no choice but just to sit and wait. Maybe it develops. Maybe WWE changes their mind. That does happen. But they're not going to put it on fast forward just to shut up me, you, social media, or anything else. We're forced to sit and wait. If you are truly a Karrion Kross fan, then talk about the fact that he dominated, beat Ricochet in 2 minutes, and looked great in his match, instead of tweeting 10 times on how ridiculously stupid he looks with that mask and that outfit. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, we could all say, it's okay, but, it's not needed, okay? It's fine. But at least focus also on the quality of his match and that he won. That is what's most important. If you truly give a shit about the guy, focus. What helped him more? What helps him more? People acting indifferent. They keep having him dominate people and choking people out. Nobody reacts to it. Or people focused on suspenders and a mask. Which one helps him more? Kross, you don't need the suspenders anymore. Oh, good. Because you're fired. Doesn't help him. Anyway, let's take some calls. We're at an hour and 39 minutes, and it is 12:45 a.m. over here. So I will take calls until 1 a.m. That is 20 minutes of calls. I just ask for anybody out there that's going to call in, whatever's on your mind, wrestling, related to the topics we talked about tonight, obviously. But just respect others that want to try to call in also. And, you know, don't have 1,000 questions and eat up the whole 20 minutes. I don't ever like to be rude and just hang up on somebody halfway through a call. But, you know, just understand that we want to get as many people to call in as possible tonight. So just to the point, ask away. I'm going to remove the do not disturb, and let's kick this off. 863-366-8686. And look, if you totally disagree with me about Kross, say it. I respect it. It's fine. Good evening. You're on. Who's this?
I respect it. It's me, Edwin.
Hey, just lower your computer because everybody can hear me yapping.
Yeah, I'm watching on the damn TV and I can't find my control.
All right, no
I
problem.
gotta turn it off.
That's no problem. It's okay.
I gotta turn it off. All right, we're gonna have words because your mom. You made fun of my girl Alexa right now. I'm just messing around.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Yeah, because I want her to win the title, by the way, because she's one of the best gimmicks on the show. Anyway, and it was more to do about SmackDown. You saw like they showed after the matchup, the Cena got attacked by Brock. You think that might be brought up?
That's a good question. I don't know if it'll be brought up on Friday. You know, it was weird because everybody said Brock Lesnar is a babyface right now. But yet Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena after SummerSlam. So it doesn't coincide. I just personally think that was more for fans that were at SummerSlam. They got a little bit extra. Brock, you know, throwing John Cena around a little bit. And then, you know, they went home with a little bit extra. I truthfully don't think they're going to show footage of that on Friday. I hope Cena comes out on Friday, but he was on Good Morning America today, and they played off like he was going to say bye for a little while. But people need to remember, John Cena has more WWE events that he's going to be participating in. So it's not goodbye yet. But for TV, they might focus on Brock this Friday. I don't think they're going to show the footage with Cena.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be there September 10th. He's gonna show up, man.
Mm-hmm.
I might try to go if there's no tickets available. We'll see. If I'm not out of the city.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, what do you think this match is building to? You think it's gonna drag on to Royal Rumble or to WrestleMania?
No,
Roman.
No, I think they're doing this maybe for Survivor Series. It would be really interesting if they played this out beyond a couple of months because Brock Lesnar, again, is not master of the mic. Even though I thought he was decent before he left the first time around towards the end. But I think they're going to just do the storyline that we talked about a few months ago, that Paul Heyman is almost going to be put in a situation where it's not that he has to choose sides, but Roman Reigns is going to be like, you're not thinking of, and I just can't picture Brock doing comedy segments with Roman Reigns. So it's going to be interesting to see how Paul Heyman reacts to this. But I think they're going to tease this match for a couple of weeks. May happen in Extreme Rules. It may not. But Friday, I think we'll have a good idea where it's going to go.
Yeah, no, because I can't see Survivor Series. You figure it'll be the champion versus the champion.
Yeah.
What it'll be?
Yeah.
Like say maybe Lashley against Roman, hopefully, because I would love to see that match.
Yeah, and Brock could always get drafted to Raw after this in October. So this may just be, leading up to October, and then once they get that out of the way, then Brock could very well end up on Raw, and we may get that match of Brock versus Lashley that a lot of people wanted to see.
Yeah. Also, they were like, of course, all the crybabies critics said, "Oh, we've already seen Roman and Brock." Yeah, well, you've seen Roman and Brock, but not in this way.
Right.
There's a whole different story.
We saw Brock and Roman before. Didn't
Yeah,
Roman
well,
have
we know-
that cage match with Braun Strowman that Brock ripped the doors down and it ended up in a no contest? I mean, we've seen Roman and Brock before. It's just now it's roles reversed.
Exactly. Roman's I would never say Brock is a baby face, but he's more like a anti-heel, I would say, or anti-baby face.
He's out for himself.
Exactly. But being, like I said, it's more interesting. So people they don't give shit a chance. It's always seen it 100. Yeah, but you haven't seen it this way.
Sure.
Like when Drew McIntyre wrestled him last year. Right, we saw that at WrestleMania. It wasn't that good, like when he was the baby face and he was the heel, but it was so much better than the Survivor Series.
Exactly.
So just got like you said, see how shit play out,
Yeah.
and just tie this whining bullshit.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Charlotte and Becky again. We're gonna see Charlotte and Becky possibly. That's why they put the belts on both of them.
Yeah.
So they're probably wrestling each other in Survivor Series.
Exactly.
Huh.
Exactly. That's where it seems it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen. All right, let me leave you.
All right.
You get someone.
Much love, my friend. Have a good
You
night.
too, bud.
Be well.
All right, you too. Thanks. Bye.
Hey, he brings up two great matches for Survivor Series. You could very well get Charlotte and Becky, which I know we've seen before, but you see where this could be going. Hey, you're on. Who's this?
Hey, DT, this is Neil.
Hey, Neil. What's up, my friend?
How are you? How's your dad? I hope he's doing all right.
He's all right. He got the third shot of COVID vaccine on Saturday. Yesterday he was feeling it, but today I heard he had no side effects. I'll see him tomorrow, but we're trying to get my mom to get the third shot and she's a little reluctant. So now I'm pretty much back to normal.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah,
thank you.
that shot takes a toll on people.
Yeah.
That definitely does. But what I want to say is the Miz and Morrison split. I know you said it was like too early. I don't know. I liked it because you got to push Morrison. Why the hell did you bring him in the first place? Just to do some thing that he did a while back ago with the tag titles and stuff like that? No, I think it's good that they split him up. You get John Morrison doing what he needs to do and actually push him further, maybe for a U.S. title down the road.
Sure. I think it's just... I know a lot of people are getting a little bit sick of Miz TV, but, I thought the Johnny Drip stuff was really, really getting over. And John Morrison, this is what I think the reason why I'm a little down about this. John Morrison has this comedy side to him that has to be drawn out by someone else, in this case, The Miz. And it seems like it's only been the last month that he truly has branched out even further with the comedy. Like, I don't think any of us ever expected that he would even have for 1 week this moist TV thing. So now, all that comedy and all of that was pulled out of him now goes away. So, he's going to be serious against Miz. And then, I don't see a lot of that comedy coming out again because that was primed for a heel. Johnny Drip is one of the most popular wrestlers right now, and he's a heel. But without Miz, how do you draw that comedy out again? And I think that is going to be something we're going to miss.
That is actually true. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I mean,
this
at least... Yeah, this at least puts the storyline in a different direction. I just hope that they feud for more than 1 week.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, it would have been better for merchandise sales, too, for the kids and everyone else. It would have been a smart move.
Yeah.
I get where you come from.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Much love, my friend. Have a good night. Thanks, Neil, for calling in.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Be well. All right. Great convo. Great questions. We're on a roll. 833-366-8686. You're on. Who's this?
Hey, DT, it's Liz.
Hey, Liz. Good evening.
And,
Where am I wrong with Kross?
How you doing? When I seen it first thing, I thought it was Gladiator. But with the mask. And it did look like it was too big for him.
Yeah, it does, right? It does.
Like they needed to strip it down a little.
Yeah.
You can see his right eye, but you couldn't see his left eye.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, it does. You know what? I think after everything I said tonight, I agree with Liz on this. You know, and I'm sorry, Karrion, if you're seeing this, this is just perspective. You know what this looks like? This looks like when you bring your kid to like a Halloween store and they're looking for a mask to wear on Halloween and the kid puts on the adult-sized mask instead. It looks too round and too oval for his head. It almost looks like he's got an egg-shaped mask around him. I think it should accentuate the jawline a little bit more and be a little bit more narrow like this. Maybe they can add a little bit to the top. But, it looks too big on his face.
Yeah, they need to shave it down, like around the eyes and that, because it looks off.
Yeah, it does.
And,
no, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Apparently Becky Lynch requested to be turned back heel. Do you think that, well, that's what they're saying. Do you think she really did, or it was another audible by WWE?
Well, I truthfully believe it was an audible because they were teasing Becky, even with Charlotte's promos, they were teasing the fans to chant Becky when Charlotte was out there leading up to SummerSlam. We don't know exactly what happened with Sasha yet. We'll know soon enough. But it was definitely an audible, but it's interesting that Becky would want to turn heel because especially, I look at it like this. If she would have went to Raw, let's say Sasha was still okay to go and she fought Bianca. Raw doesn't need another heel right now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I understand Rhea, they have now finally got her back to babyface, but if Becky would have showed up on Raw, they don't want Becky and Charlotte to be the top heels in that company. For her to go to SmackDown and for her to say, I want to be a heel, you know, to me, I just think that that is done as a replacement for Sasha for the time being, because when Sasha comes back, I mean, that SmackDown roster is really light on the top babyface department. I mean, you really think about it. I mean, I know Tegan Knox and 𝘁cie Blackheart are baby faces also, but that is so heel heavy. I don't think Bianca should be put in that role of being almost the sole top heel on SmackDown. So I'm not so sure about her requesting to be a heel. Maybe WWE asked her, look, for the time being, we need somebody to replace Sasha as a top heel. Could you do this? Or, you know, I could see that happening, but I don't know why Becky would insist on wanting to be a heel right now. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah. Hey, also at SummerSlam, did you see when the person held up that the thing with the Bray Wyatt with the Raiders design, and it said the hurt and heel?
I think I have. I think I have that picture here. Yeah, I do. That was my favorite sign of the night. That's this one. Yeah,
well, he posted here on Twitter, it took him 30 hours to do it with colored pencils. Wow. And the security confiscated it.
Oh, that's, you know, if anybody tunes into my...
And he didn't want to give it up, and he says that he threatened to throw him out. But they did give it back to him at the end of the night.
Oh, okay, all right. But you want to know something? I said it on the SummerSlam recap. I said, you know, I didn't notice that sign for the rest of the night. That sign was pretty damn cool. So that's a shame they took it away. I mean, it was nice at least they gave it back to him. I mean, you do that much work. You know, if I was Bray Wyatt, I'm not kidding. If I was Bray Wyatt, I would send that guy a DM and say, you know, what's your address, and send him something. Seriously, I think Bray Wyatt should say. I don't know if he'd be able to ship that to Bray to autograph. I mean, that seems like a very delicate item to ship. But you know, I think Bray should send him something. That you do that much work, you should be acknowledged for it, in my opinion. That was really cool.
His name is Mandeep Bajwa. It's
Okay.
Mandeep, Mandeep, and his last name is Bajwa.
I'm gonna check out his page. You know, and for some people making fun of the 30 hours, let me tell you something. You're an artist. There's people that'll spend months drawing something. You know, that is a talent. Yeah.
Yeah, well, him saying it took him over 30 hours. He's at 510 Mandeep.
Nice. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to definitely check it out.
Yeah, because it popped up Wyndham, and I'm like, okay, what's the show with Bray? And then it popped up Wyndham, I'm like, well, damn, that's why it disappears so silly. Well, they must have busted land speed records to get to him.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they gave it back, because that really would have been bogus if they hadn't.
Yeah, that would have been really, really terrible. I mean, you know, mean, it sucks. Security confiscated it, but, you know, at least he got it back. And it got TV. Because I had it on the standby. I mean, I said it's Saturday. This was one of my favorite signs. It was my favorite sign of the night. You could tell how that was just not a photo, you know, of the Fiend. You could tell that was actually drawn. So good job.
Yeah. But, yeah, I liked it too. And like you said, but you know what was drawn. And then I guess others were reporting on it and that. I guess even Dave Meltzer reported about that they took it away from him. And everything started trending on Twitter and that under Wyndham because it was, you know, with Bray.
Right.
But, yeah, that's damn good work.
It is. I appreciate that. I used to draw in high school, and I could have had a scholarship in architecture and stuff, and I never pursued it. But I appreciate someone who not only is that talented, but is dedicated, that will spend the time on it. So that's good work.
I couldn't draw to save my life.
Me too.
My mom could, but I can't.
Even if I could draw it, I don't have that kind of patience anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
all right.
if now I used to do crafts and stuff, but with my osteoarthritis, I can't really work with my hands in that a lot now because they'll cramp up and everything.
Yeah.
So, I hate it I can't do crafts because I used to do macrame and stuff like that.
You find something else, that you dedicate to. Me, comes out of my mouth. So it doesn't involve too much as far as like labor and stuff like that. I just talk, so.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Liz, have a great night. Awesome conversation. Chat room loves you. You know, always bringing up very, very smart points, so don't be a stranger.
Hey, chat room.
Have a good night, Liz.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Be well.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Great calls. Great calls. Love it. I love it. I love it. And again, I think, like I said, you'll never hear me call you a moron or something like that. If you disagree with me on something, you call me out on something. I don't bite. So let's take another call. Good evening. You're on. Who's this? Hello. Oh, we lost. Are you there? Last chance. Yeah, we lost him. Another call will be coming in any second. There we go. Hey, you're on. Who's this?
Hey, DT, it's Crazy
Hey,
Cruiserweight.
Hey, Cruiserweight. Thank you again for the main event results earlier. Very cool. And that guy from 2 weeks ago, I did not realize that he was throwing shade your way. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, no, I when I saw the stuff, I knew where it was coming from. So
he's on Manhattan Island, so that's all. So let him hang out in Manhattan Island and have fun.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to address that.
I appreciate
when I saw that, it really got to me personally on a certain level. I do want to say I'm not in the greatest of health rise mentally or emotionally right now. So, if you don't know this, well, I'll tell you one of two things. The other one I'll tell you on Patreon later on. So I have a sprained wrist right now in my left hand, and I don't even know how I sprained it, and I had to go to urgent care yesterday, and they bandaged it. I got bandaged up, and they got X-rayed as well. So I think I hit like tendonitis. I probably have. So
take care.
I'm just
seriously.
Yeah.
But that guy, like I said, you know, you put that out there to help me and to help everyone else and give them information, and you know, never feel guilty for that. It's like I always say, you know, I learned a couple of years ago, you know, that it should not be wrong to enjoy yourself, have fun, and want to help others. You know, doing good things is not always ulterior motives. You know, I mean, your generosity to AS7607 that time, giving her your prize, you know, right away, you know, oh, he's trying to get her phone number. Oh, he's trying to, you know, it's not about that. That's just people who are just, they get angry when they see other people doing good things. Never, ever, ever feel that what you're doing is wrong. What you do is good shit. So,
No. I didn't feel wrong. Don't even or anything like that.
Don't even sweat it.
No. Yeah, but like, you know, again, I know what he was talking about that happened last year with me and on that certain server. You know, I spoke to you privately.
Yeah,
Mish spoke with me when I got back in. A lot of people, you know, who spoke with me just told me, you know, hey, you know, you gotta be more careful. Yeah, sure. Yes, I'm black in real life, and you know, what I said was wrong. Yes, on so many levels.
And we all say,
but I had to take accountability for that. Yeah,
we all say dumb shit, and we learn by it. And you should never feel like you're doing something wrong when you're just trying to learn from your mistakes. So I try to learn from mine still. Well, what's going on?
You know, nothing much. You know, DT, I've been trying to, you know, I wanted to talk to you about this a few times because I couldn't see your perspective on it. And, you know, maybe that's just me. I like when last year when they were having that cruiserweight tournament on NXT television, and you said they should have had Jake Atlas turn heel. I couldn't see that happening for him, honestly, because I could see now, again, I'm just a straight guy. If anybody who's gay or in the LGBT community could correct me, or this is just me speaking from my own perspective. I could see that WWE wouldn't want to do that, as there could be a lot of queer people in there are queer people in the wrestling community who could sit there and say they couldn't build him up as a likable, lovable babyface and show his like support for him, but then they have to turn him heel just to get some heat, and in the wrong kind of way. For me, I was looking at through the visions of like someone with like a 2020 perspective, no pun intended for the year, of like, I just couldn't agree with that on you, that they should turn them. Like, it just doesn't work out for me. That's just me, honestly. You know, again, we don't have to always agree on everything. You know, this is just me, how you say, disagree with me and all that stuff. You know, I'm just telling you my point.
Sure.
I think there would have been a better way to handle it, but even though Jake Atlas is gone from the company now, you know, it's whatever. But I just didn't see him turning heel, and I think he would have still been released regardless, even if they did turn him heel, and if they tried to do a redemption story of him being a babyface. I just don't think it would have worked out well for him after Pride Month. And this is just my opinion.
I hear you. I mean, I would probably, in hindsight, maybe they should have had someone else align with Drake Maverick at the time and have someone else turn heel. I just feel when Drake Maverick gets released and it's all over the news wire and everybody is crying with him and they hire him back, that's something you rarely ever see happen. And when he's fighting for his career on TV, Jesse Lord, what's up, my friend? Welcome to the family. But when you see him fighting on TV, crying, and, you know, people are really invested in that storyline, I mean, whoever would have screwed his chances of remaining, it's almost like Fuego del Sol. Fuego del Sol was fighting for his AEW life, even though he had a contract anyway. But just imagine if somebody in storyline was good friends with him in AEW, let's say Sammy Guevara. Let's just say in storyline, we know that Fuego is going to take on Miro, and if he loses, he's done with AEW, and Sammy is, you know, his best friend, and he's rooting for him. And then at the very end, Sammy turns on him and causes him to lose, and everybody thinks now that he's out of AEW. Sammy would have got nuclear heat for that. So that's why I thought it would have worked for Jake Atlas, because anybody that would have turned against Drake Maverick at that time would have been the ultimate heel. So,
right.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something I just thought of. It was like, even though he wasn't in this person's block, I think of if they did that where Santos Escobar was in the block still, even though the Lucha Suits thing was going on with Drake Maverick, that would have gotten him more heel heat in a certain way.
That's true.
Even though he was, I think you see what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I hear you.
And
it's a moot point now, but I totally see where you're coming from with that. It go either way.
Yeah, but I don't want to take up too much time.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you saw my request on a Patreon for the Patreon users.
Yeah, I wrote something earlier.
Retrospective.
Check out later what I wrote.
Yeah. No, I saw your Joint 924 thing, so I was like, okay, maybe post that episode this week, and then the Cena Orton handicap match the week after, so people could
I'll check it out. Yeah, I got to go through the episode, but I pulled it, so.
Yeah, but well, thanks so much, DT.
No problem, my friend. Thank you.
Be careful with my wrist.
Yeah.
I gotta be careful with my wrist I have there. I'm on anti-inflammatories and all that.
Yeah,
and
just take
I
it
just
easy. Hopefully it's
very depressing right now because I can't wash dishes right now.
Just be careful.
I mean, sure. I'm 25, but I just feel like it's like a sideline right now. But I'm gonna listening to your shows, Jason's shows, and whoever else's other podcast just helps me like get through the day is all.
Yeah, I hear you. Just take it easy. Get better.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Have a good night.
All right. Much love to everybody else on the chat and who's on the download as well.
All right. Be well.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Thank you.
Check this out, everybody. I got to show you something. Hang on a second. I want to show you something. I was talking about this the other day. I put up my P.O. box not too long ago. A few people want to send like little gags and stuff like that. So I know a lot of you know this already. One of our supporters sent me these WWF gummy bears from 1998. They're still sealed in the pack. I'm not going to eat one of these now, but he's challenging me to eat a 23-year-old gummy bear. You know how loud that is? They're like rocks. Someone else sent me this very cool NXT takeover in your house signed by everybody that you see on the screen. Someone else sent me this. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. It is Steve Austin talking soap. It's brand new. It's never been opened. I don't even know if it works. It's vanilla scent. And basically, I saw a video of it because someone else got this. I've looked on eBay to see, what this goes for, and there's nobody that has one. But what you do is you take the bar of soap, and when it hits water, Steve Austin starts talking to you. And it says a phrase like, something like you dropped the soap, now what, jackass, or something like that. And somebody sent it to me. They want me to actually, I don't even know how I could do this on the air because you have to wet the bar of soap. It's sealed. So someone is supposedly sending me a box of WWF Superstars cookies from 1987 that is sealed in the box and dares me to eat one. If it's rancid, I am not eating one. So, but, you think because I'm getting married, I get wedding gifts. Instead, I'm getting 23-year-old gummy bears and some other crazy shit. So the battery is probably dead, but I wanted to open it, not today, but soon, open it live and wet it and see what happens. But I saw that it takes like the little watch batteries. So I might open it up, and if there's a way to replace the batteries, I'll replace the batteries. But talking soap, you literally wash your hands with the soap, and it starts saying, you dropped the soap, now what, jackass? Go figure. All right, where are we at? We actually went a little bit overtime. Should we take like one or two more calls? We'll take like one or two more calls, and we'll call it. So I'm taking it off to Do Not Disturb. So let's see who's on. Good evening, you're on. Who's this?
Oh,
Yo, it's Reed.
What's up?
Yo, what up, bro? How you doing?
All right, not bad.
I just want to say hello, man. I just want to say you're doing a good job, man. And I miss y'all, man. I don't know if you did a show yesterday for the SummerSlam, like after party, like how I usually do. Cause it took me a while to like get back on. Like I've been out the loop, so now I just recently got back. I found out you was on YouTube, and I don't know what's going on in Wrestling Soup and Joint Numbers. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on, so I can get back on track. And
yeah, I mean, Mish and I mean, it's funny because I think tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary that DTKC show was over. I'm not going to get into too much of it here, but Mish is on with me every Monday night, just not tonight. He's also on with me every Tuesday on Discord. We do the Patreon show. He still does Wrestling Soup with Joey Numbers every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. And you could go to WrestlingSoup.com, and he's got all the links there. And I think once every couple of weeks, I think he does like a special Patreon show with Joey also. But, Joey's still around doing good, and Mish is doing great also. So, yeah, I mean, most of everything is still the same.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely, man. I've been here since, 2016, I think, 2017.
Awesome.
So, we're still here.
Yeah, awesome.
Are you ever going to do one of those pop-ups again like last time?
What, the Lucky 13 thing? Absolutely.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, it was Solid Monster, you.
That was awesome.
I can't wait, man. I'm here.
Yeah, that was the first time I got to meet Jason in person, and I swear to God, anyone wants to ask him, we literally shook hands, and the first words out of his mouth is like, why do we not like each other? And we had some good laughs, but I'm just very, very glad that I recorded video from that night, because when I had showed up and noticed that nobody was recording it, I was like, my God, I walked in there and saw, everybody just like, I'm like, this is incredible. So I luckily had a completely charged phone, and I recorded as much as I could. I don't even remember who I gave the phone to, but we ended up recording an hour and a half's worth of it. So that was an awesome night. Those lines that lined up afterwards that I tell on these shows once in a while, that after, everybody did what they did on the stage, there's these two big lines formed, and everybody's just coming up to us like, you helped me through this, and I'll never forget this, and you brought up this, and that was almost life-changing. I mean, it really was in a lot of ways. I mean, it just showed like how powerful, not only people's words are, but, people see that you go out of your way, and you really look out for people, and you really give your 100%, that people truly do appreciate that. So that was awesome that night, man. I loved that night.
Absolutely. You got a strong fan
Yeah, we'll be
base,
doing
man.
one
I
again.
still got the tops. I still got the tops of cars you was giving out. Night. I still got it right there.
Awesome, man.
I got it in bubble wrap. I made sure that's clean. Nobody touches that. No scratches on the cover, nothing,
Very cool.
And then you was rocking the leather jacket that night. I was like, yo, this guy looking like a matara right now.
But no, as soon as this COVID is truly out of here, we're doing another one. We actually got together, a few of us, for the big event autograph convention last February, I think it was, right before COVID truly broke out. But hopefully by next year, this should be, turned the corner, and we're definitely planning another one. Absolutely. I already talked to Mish about it. Joey is definitely in on it. So we're definitely going to put one together, and we'll have other people come in also. It's not going to be just us. So
definitely, man. I got some CDs for you too here, man. So some collector's items. So I gave one to Mish, some West Side Gun CDs. It was called Chris Benoit. So I would like to give one. I got an extra copy right now.
All right.
That CD is going for like $300. So I'd love to give you that.
Yeah,
so
that'd be awesome.
There,
Look,
maybe do a giveaway
later this year. I'm pretty sure it's later this year in November. in Queens, right near where Shea Stadium is, they're doing another autograph convention. I know Malachi Black is going to be there and a few people. I'm going, and I think Mish is going too. And, you know, that might actually be like a little get-together. Everybody's, I'm not telling you, you know, like to force you to come, but we may actually be doing something in November. So we're just, you know, feeling out what's going on with the COVID thing. I mean, I'm fully vaccinated, but, you know, you could still catch it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, because I broke my foot, so I'm just recovering right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like, I wanted to also say, like, this is therapy, man. Every Monday, you know, I try to tune in. I try to donate what I can, the little bit of spare change that I got, you know. Don't hurt nobody.
Thank you so much, man.
Absolutely,
Seriously.
man.
Yeah. But, no, we'll definitely have some opportunities.
I can't wait to, like, see you again.
Yeah.
You're dope, man. You're the GOAT, man. I swear, man. I always try to tune in. I remember, you know, from Mixler to now YouTube, you know, and beyond.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Yeah, have a good night.
Yapika, man.
Yeah,
Yapika.
I'll definitely see you again. No doubt about it. Trust me. We're legit. We don't BS. I mean, we're trying to put some stuff together and, you know, it'll happen. It'll happen sooner than later.
Also, I got some, I don't want to take up too much time, but I also got some, like, you remember Mario? He sent me some, like, RVD stuff. I'm not sure if I can, like, give that to you so you can, or I can mail it to you to a P.O. box so you can do, like, a little giveaway. I'm not sure how that works.
Absolutely. Yeah, just nice. drop me a DM or something, and we'll hook up. We'll talk.
Okay, definitely. All right, I'm going to go back to the chat, man. Have a good night.
You too. Have a good night.
All right.
I think he deserves ending on that note tonight. That was awesome, man. I swear to you, I love everybody that calls in. You know, I feel bad. You know, we probably could go 4 or 5 hours with calls. I try to, you know, open the phone lines more on Thursday, since Thursday is more down to earth and pretty much it's just Q&A and everything. But, you know, no bullshit. Straight up. That's why we do this. That's why we do this. I'm going into my 25th year of doing this. And if you would have told me 25 years ago that I would still be doing this in some capacity, I would have said that, man, my life must have sucked bad. Like I had no life whatsoever. So I just sat on a computer and just talked wrestling. Never ever in a million years. But I'm telling you, I got to put that footage of Lucky 13 on my channel. I know I let someone else use the footage, which is fine. I mean, I would not ever pull it from him, but I have more raw footage than no one has ever seen. So I got to put that up. And when you see what went down that day, it's something you can't describe. You know, I mean, even Jason Solomonster showing up that night, and we had some other people there that I had never met before, and, you know, it was awesome. And the thing about it, too, is I had diverticulitis surgery about 3 weeks before that. You know, I had my intestine cut in half and, you know, put back together. And I don't know if anybody noticed that night, but you'll see me multiple times on that stage where I'm kind of like crunched over and holding my midsection, and Mish will say it too. At the very end of the night, I'm like, look, I got to go home. I said, you know, I'm in too much pain. I wish I could have enjoyed that aspect a little bit more. But, you know, I told everyone out there, we planned that for 2 years, all of us. And I said, look, unless I'm dead or somebody in my family died, or if I was arrested, there ain't no way I'm missing that. And that was something we planned for a couple of years. And, you know, it was just awesome to have everybody show up. And Joey Numbers, never met him before. And remember, I'll leave everybody with this. That day that we had that get together was the night that Bret Hart got tackled by that fan at that Hall of Fame ceremony. And you remember Dax, was it Dax or was it Kesh? I think it was Dax Harwood. He tackled the fan. And when we were on stage, I said to everybody, I said, who am I? And who's Joey? And I tackled Joey. And I said, you know, Joey's Bret Hart. And I was the crazy fan. And Joey Numbers is looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? So I tackled Joey Numbers on the stage. And I tackled him because he's a wrestling referee. A lot of people don't know that. Joey is taking bumps. So I figured, you know, he'll know how to take care of himself. But that was awesome, man. That was awesome. That night is something that I'll never forget. And that truly changed things. Seriously, if you look at the direction of the shows after that WrestleMania weekend, they really did go in a totally different direction. And you got first witness right now from someone who was there and someone that really, really like appreciates what we do. And how do we not give you 100%? I mean, how do you not? So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. We're 2 hours and 20 minutes. Last week we did 2 hours and 50 minutes. So I'm still ending 30 minutes early tonight, but we have a loaded week coming. If you're part of our Patreon channel, patreon.com/Don Tony, we're going to do a show tomorrow. I think it's off the cuff. I think so. I'm not sure. Off the cuff means we talk about whatever. We're going to have the winner of the stand-up comedians tournament. We're going to start the favorite comic book tournament tomorrow. We'll be talking Friday's Rampage. And, you know, I wanted to give everybody the number because I promised you earlier. Last week, or the week before, I said Rampage would do 750,000 viewers, its debut. It did 740, which was not a bad number for a Friday night. And, you know, we could talk CM Punk before I get out of here. Rampage's rating came in today for CM Punk's appearance. 1,129,000 viewers. So, obviously, that's a big bump from the week before. 1,129,000 viewers. That is excellent. Now, some people out there thought it was going to be 1.8 million, 2 million. And some people thought that only going up to 1,100,000 is a disappointment. I want to make this point. And I truthfully believe everybody will agree with me about that rating. What people need to understand is that it went up, what? 400,000 viewers, a little over 300,000 viewers. So you'll have some people out there, oh, CM Punk only increased the rating 350,000 viewers. Let's just say that. What a lot of people need to understand is that a ton of CM Punk fans were already AEW fans. So there wasn't, you understand what I'm saying? There wasn't this giant group of wrestling fans that don't watch wrestling anymore, but were huge CM Punk fans. You look at where wrestling is right now with AEW, with New Japan Pro Wrestling, with MLW, with Ring of Honor, with Impact Wrestling, with WWE, with NXT. If you can't still be a wrestling fan with all of that, I don't think you come back simply because CM Punk debuts in AEW. So a lot of people who are AEW fans are already tuning in, whether CM Punk makes his debut or not. What happened is the rating they got Friday is similar to what their rating was on Wednesday 2 weeks earlier, because they did break 1.1 million on Wednesday. So to me, this was more of AEW fans who don't normally tune in on Fridays, tuned in. David Levy, welcome to the family, my friend. David Levy, much love. But think about that. You had more AEW fans that tune in on Wednesdays that also tuned in on Friday. You definitely, without a doubt, had some fans that don't normally watch AEW that tuned in to see CM Punk. But, you know, when you think about it, they did 750, let's say, the week before, and now they do 1,100,000, but they were doing 1,100,000 on Wednesdays. So how much of that boost are existing AEW fans? How much of that boost were curious fans that don't watch AEW? And how many of those fans are not AEW fans that tuned in? This Wednesday, we'll answer that question. This Wednesday will really, truly show how many non-AEW fans are now going to tune in, even for a short period of time. And honestly, if I'm Tony Khan, that's all I want. Get me some fans that don't normally watch our product, and for the next couple of weeks, we're going to try to show you why you should stick with us. And they may stay. If AEW's rating on Wednesday goes up to 1,500,000, well, that's a 600,000 increase from the week before. In my opinion, there's no way CM Punk draws 66% more viewers that weren't watching AEW on Wednesdays already. And that's not a knock. If CM Punk draws 200,000 fans, 300,000 fans, now you're talking 1,300,000, 1,400,000. And when you break that down, that's still about 350 to 400,000 fans that don't normally watch AEW. Because on Friday, a lot of those fans could have been your AEW fans already that just didn't tune in till the Friday before. Because you do 1 million to 1,100,000 on Wednesday and you do 750 on Friday. That means there's about 350,000 of your fans that aren't watching on Friday. So Wednesday is the truly telltale sign how many new fans they're getting because of CM Punk. If it's only 200,000 or 300,000, do not let anybody say to you that that is a disappointment. It's not. But I also will say a lot of fans of CM Punk were already fans of AEW because it's an alternative of WWE. I don't think there's that many fans out there that just don't watch wrestling anymore that is suddenly going to tune in because CM Punk is there. Because if they weren't tuning in already because of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley and Darby Allin, and it just goes on and on and on, then CM Punk, I don't know, would be that, but then you bring in possibly Daniel Bryan, you bring in Ruby Riott, and you bring in some others, then you could see it. But I'm just trying to break it down so people understand. If you see a 300,000 viewership increase, that's not a disappointment. And you'll see a lot of people call that a disappointment. Edwin G, shout out to you, my friend. Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan should both be champions. Interesting. Liv Morgan, non-existent. Toni Storm, non-existent. Dana Brooke, non-existent. Obviously, with SummerSlam, they were focusing on mostly just the people that are going to be on the show. Naomi, non-existent. There's quite a few people that have been off TV that you don't realize it. Hopefully now you'll see them back on TV. I think Friday we will see at least one or two of those names make their return. I just hope Liv Morgan is not brought back just to do a job to Becky Lynch, just to do a job to Bianca Belair, just to do a job. That's what I'm a little concerned about. I mean, it's awesome to have Becky Lynch back, but there's another person that now leapfrogs some women that we want to see pushed. That's why you need to understand too, and I'll remind everybody this. When you have that many people in AEW being signed, 2.0, this and that, every single person you sign, that is one person that is already in AEW that's losing an opportunity unless you have 15 men factions in every match. I mean, that's why you see insane numbers of factions, because they have so many people and they want to get everybody on TV. That's why you have people coming out with so many people. Matt Hardy has 7 people. The Dark Order has 7 people. You have this with 5 people, and this one has 4 people, and this one has 6 people. That's what's going to end up happening. You're going to have more factions just to get people out there. And, you know, it gets a little messy after a while. So, all right, everybody. I'm out of here. Much love. So I hope to see you either tomorrow on Patreon after NXT. We go live about 10:05 p.m. Otherwise, I'll be here Wednesday night, right after Dynamite, and we'll recap AEW. We'll discuss NXT a little bit. I already saw the spoilers tonight for NXT, and I already saw some of the things they're hyping up for September. And all I'll say is not much changed. But remember the analysis I said earlier about salaries and why names are being moved around, because WWE is now going to treat NXT like not only like a developmental territory, but their payroll is going to reflect the developmental territory. They're not going to bring in a $500,000 person to work NXT unless they are the cornerstone, a diamond in the rough that is not being utilized. So, all right, everybody, much love as always. I'll catch you tomorrow or Wednesday. Good night, everybody.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.